Hello everybody, welcome back to F1 TS Hub. We don't want to mix you up too much. This is a Thursday night, and that's because we are hosting official practice sessions for all of our drivers who want to take part. And looks like Jamie, who's alongside me, we've got another full grid this week.
Yeah, lobby filled up really quickly, and it's good to see.
Yeah, it definitely is. So all 60 of our drivers across our 3 tiers get an invite to this official practice session hosted by the league and streamed live every Thursday night at 8 PM. And we've got a right mixture of drivers here, from the pinnacle all the way up, from the podium all the way up through the pinnacle and to the top prestige tier, which is, Jamie, definitely good to see, especially from a head of team's perspective.
Yeah, it's good to see it. Obviously, with a new team system, we want to incentivise people to practice and to improve, and see the lobbies fill up so quickly and a mixture of different drivers make the race very intriguing.
Yeah, definitely will. We've already got some drivers head out onto track, and of course we are in Britain for round 2, so that's why this is the track that's on your screens. Of course, it's featured, the only track to feature in every F1 TS Hub season, so there's a bit of stat facts for you. Yeah, fantastic to see it raining here as well, just to spice things up a little bit, Jamie.
Yeah, of course. Last week we had rain in all 3 races last week, so and again Britain's a track where rain is a regular occurrence. As I've been to every British Grand Prix I've been to, it's rained, so it's not surprised that it's raining tonight.
Yep, and they should expect that perhaps come race time, which is tomorrow night. Of course, our podium tier races at 7 PM, our pinnacle tier races at 8 PM, and our top prestige tier races at 9 PM, which, Jamie, for the first time ever last week in round 1 Austria, we featured a full grid.
Yeah, that's very good to see, and as expected, the grid was really close, and it was a very exciting race in all 3 tiers last week.
Yeah, make sure you head over to our YouTube. If you click the playlist, we've got highlight videos which we've introduced for this season. You can just see them. There's a playlist for them, so click on them and you'll be able to go through round by round, tier by tier. Just on board with James Slater. Of course, the drivers that are in these cars, they aren't their outfit for what they'll be racing during season 11. Drivers can pick any car they like for this practice session. It is set to equal, of course, as our official races. And it's good to see lots of drivers here pushing the limits, and we'll wait for the first driver to set a competitive lap time, Jamie. But just quickly, we've got a few drivers in here that really performed well last week. Speaking, obviously you commentated on the pinnacle tier. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to who impressed you in your commentary last week?
Well, I think Bugster last week really impressed me. He sat at 9th on the grid, he picked up wind damage on the first lap and he recovered and finished second. He kept his podium streak to 12 consecutive podiums, which is really impressive. And as well, I was quite impressed by Gazzaman, who sort of back-end pace-wise of the pinnacle tier, but he kept in there and he got some really good points for his constructors challenge.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of, obviously, battles going to go on. This is a 12-race season. We're already 1 down. And in case you missed it, today is Media Day. Lots going on the website. Pre-race interviews were up this morning. We've already had 15 or so drivers reply to those. So lovely reading some of the answers that they face in the press. Of course, after this, Jamie, we've got the dreaded press conference, drivers' press conference, which I believe this week we've got Kian, Dweller, and I'm not sure who's from the podium tier.
You're having a giggle, I think, is it?
You're having a giggle, that's it. I think you're right on that one. So those 3 drivers will be grilled by the press with one tough question later on tonight after this practice session. Again, that all happens www.f1tshub.com. Make sure, of course, you also follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, where you can catch all updates throughout the week about the league, Jamie.
Yeah, at the start of this qualifying session, Black Mamba set the provisional pole time with 1:10.7. We've got Malik Kekic in second with 1:41.0, and Sean is third with 1:41.5.
Just seeing a little bit of lagging from the McLaren of Cobblers at the moment. I don't know if that's just on my screen, but as we see Mercedes go off there and waits to rejoin track, which is obviously the correct thing to do. Just 2 drivers yet to set a lap time.
Yeah, Gazza and Jonas. Jonas obviously is on his out lap, so maybe he decided to wait till the track clears a little bit to set his lap. That can be quite a sensible thing to do, especially in these braking conditions where spray can really affect your lap.
Yeah, they definitely can. When I was riding on board there through turn 1, you could see the rain. It looked like it was coming at an angle. And if there's wind involved, don't know how much that simulates on this game, but if there was wind in it, it definitely make things even harder. Gaza puts himself into 12th position now. Just Jonas, who finished an career equal best F1 TS Hub, 2nd place on last Friday in Austria. So he was so close to the win. I think another half a lap and he would have had it.
Yeah, he was on the right tyres, wasn't he? He was just, say, it came a lap too early the flag for him, I think. Same thing happened in Belgium. He could have won that race last season, but went for a move and it didn't quite pay off. But maybe this season he can get that elusive win.
Yeah, definitely. Start the season off though with 18 points. I'm sure he'll be happy with that one. Of course, Jor in that race on Friday didn't have the best of luck after dominating qualifying in the early part. Sean, he dominated the prestige tier. He took pole position and the race win, and he's already up there again in this practice session, not holding anything back for tomorrow.
Right, he said in his previous interview he loves the rain, so maybe he's showing his strength in the wet conditions.
Yes, it's definitely possible. Mali, of course, racing in the prestige tier. Perhaps we'll run through. So we've got Sean Black Mamba, Mali, MLA, Odems, Defletcher, Noik, Noik. They're all racing in the prestige tier. The Bookster is in the Pinnacle tier. Malloy is in the Prestige. Matt Your Daddy is in Pinnacle. James Slater is in Prestige. Ollie, I believe, is in Pinnacle. Gazza's in Pinnacle. So is Kev. Lukey is in the Podium tier. So Cobblers is in the Pinnacle. Z4 is in the Podium. Hurster's in the Podium. Maverick's in the Podium. And Jonas is in the Podium. So, as you mentioned, a good mixture of drivers across all 3 of our tiers.
And that means there'll be have battles in this race, won't you? Like, won't be people that are too far adrift and stuff, so it makes the race more intriguing.
Yeah, it definitely does. Let's get some of our lap times up here, some telemetry on the board, so we can see who's doing what. The Bookster on the moment is coming into the pit, so he's not going to set a lap time. Jonas is just starting another lap. He pumps himself up into 10th position. That's a good lap from him there, Jamie.
Yeah, a decent lap. Yeah, it's quicker than people like James Slater and Mike Daddy have shown pace last week and higher tiers.
So I think any driver will want to do as many laps as they can. I wonder what the race is going to be like in terms of weather. Of course, it's a lot of these drivers haven't raced with each other. If they're from alternating tiers, they won't know how aggressive or how they like to drive, so they'll all just have to be a little more careful into the first few corners. Black Mama coming back out now to set a couple lap times in these intermediate conditions.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to come off the final run now. It's quite a long pit lane, so you really need to get out around about now if you want to get a run at it.
Yes, I definitely do. Just on board with Jonas again. I'm not sure whether he's been in max this whole lap, I believe, so I think he's going for another one. He's just under half a tenth up in the middle sector, so will he go and finish this lap? I don't know about you, Jamie, but in these conditions I always like to whack a bit of fuel in and just kind of do 5 or 6 laps just to get the confidence and learn the track in these conditions. Jonas is driving a very tidy lap from what I've seen this second half. And as he exits the last corner just about now, where is this going to pop him? Stays 10th position. It isn't improved though. Yeah, it does 2.5 tenths again, so looks like he's going to go again.
Yeah, I never like the wet conditions. I always struggle in the wet conditions, but I never used to like doing a single lap in these wet conditions because I always used to struggle to find the right balance between where you go on and off throttle and braking. It used to take me about 2 or 3 laps to get that bang on, so I used to do like 1 or 2 warm-up laps on the 3rd lap. That's when I really went for it.
Yeah, it's always a fine line between how far you want to push the car in these conditions as to how much risk you take. Kev, currently down in 15th place. He'll definitely be looking to improve from there. A Pinnacle tier driver, of course, and a race premium driver. As he goes through Stowe now, a lift there. Doesn't push the outside curve too much, doesn't want to get spat out. And we'll watch him as he comes through Maggots and Beckett's. Yellow flag in sector 2. Someone's had a moment. And you can just see the rear of the car getting away from Kev. He just about keeps it. But that definitely is not going to help his lap time. Cobblers has retired from the session. Doesn't appear.
Kev hasn't got enough fuel either to do the second laps. That's the session over, effectively.
Z4's retired as well. So Maverick, who scored his first points, Jamie, in the podium tier, he came home in 9th position last time out. So just shows you, splitting from 2 to 3 tiers, how much it improves the competitiveness of the racing.
Yeah, definitely. I think you also get better with experience, so he's probably learned from his mistakes last season, and he could be a regular points finisher this season.
Yeah, hopefully we will see him in the points more often. Sean still leads the way. He is currently just under 2/10 ahead of Black Mamba. SBR Mally half a second further back. Kev's retired from the session, so what you said is true. That one lap wasn't enough, and he doesn't have enough fuel. Sean is just starting his last flying run now as he just crosses the line. Anyone who's just about to cross the line will get to start their final lap, of course. But now the session has ended. Only drivers who are on a quick lap can finish.
Black Mamba's about to finish his lap. He's on a really quick lap this week, put him in pole position. He's coming around the final 2 corners now.
We're right on board.
Gets it nicely turned in. All about the traction at this final corner. This could be a low 1 minute 40, I think. It was mid 40, but gets him on pole position.
What's Sean doing? He's taking a nice wide line into left field. This maximizes the power on exit. You can see the rear slipping away from him. Meanwhile, his teammate MLA had a moment on the exit of Stowe, I believe. So I think that's compromised his lap, but we'll keep an eye on the other Ferrari as well. As we see in the background, Toro Rosso comes into the pits. What can MLA do? Couple corners to go as he exits. Has he ruined his lap with that moment? Where will he put himself? He improves, but it's only enough for 5th position at the moment. What about Sean? What kind of lap is Sean on? He won the practice race last time out in Austria as well, so...
He's 2 attempts up in middle sector, so...
Bit wide through Stowe, misses the apex.
Yeah.
Mally jumps into 2nd place. Look at that lap. Just off pole position. What can Sean do? Everyone seems to cut that penultimate corner just ever so slightly. And as Sean exits last corner, can he take it? He does take it as he loses it. Wow.
I think that was do or dying at that corner.
Definitely was. The Bookster is out of fuel, so he won't be improving. Anyone else to improve? I think Maverick crosses the line and he doesn't improve. So we're done and dusted. Sean takes pole. Yeah, definitely. So podium tier, currently occupying 8th position in this practice session. And who is our highest placed Pinnacle? It's going to be Gazzaman in 10th position.
That qualified Bookster. Surprising.
Red Bull struggling in the wet conditions, perhaps. So just shows you these practice sessions, good indication of you know, how each tier stacks up against each other. But Gazza getting himself inside the top 10. Of course, all drivers will be able to select their tyre if it is dry, because they qualified on the wet, well, either wet or intermediate compound. 20 seconds to go, and then we'll give you the official confirmation of the qualifying results for this round 2 Britain practice session. There we have it. Sean takes pole position. Black Mamba lines up alongside him. Mally jumps up to 3rd. Nowick in 4th. Malloy in 5th. MLA in 6th position. Odems in 7th. Jonas in 8th. Fletcher in 9th. Gazza in 10th. Matt Your Daddy in 11th. The Bookster in 12th. James Slater in 13th. 14th Ollie. 15th Kev. 16th Lukey. 17th Cobblers. 18th Z4. Hersto in 19th. And 20th Maverick.
1.5 seconds separate pole to 11th there, so it's not too bad on such a long track.
Yeah, and in the wet conditions as well. That usually spreads out the field even more.
Bigger in the wet, yeah.
So
small margin.
Everyone already commenting on Gaz's performance. It definitely was a good one. And it looks like we've got a dry race from my screen. The track looks damp though, actually.
Yeah, it could be crossover point. It's hard to tell from that angle. Wait, see till the car's on the grid. So. Around here, if you lose your wing at the first lap, your race is screwed because the pit lane is so long. You lose 40 seconds plus in the pit lane around here. So if I was these drivers, had to be a bit careful on lap one. Just keep your car intact.
Yeah, definitely. I've had many moments around here where, you know, you do all the hard work in quali, you're hoping for a good race, you've practiced all week, and suddenly it's all over at turn one. It's just this, as you said, Jamie, is I think the tyre strategy and the pit lane together really don't aid you. So formation lap is on here, and as soon as we get that out of the way, we'll be able to bring you the official practice race. So drivers will warm their tyres up, get some heat into them. It is dry.
Yeah, it is. There's a mixture of tyres of it. There's a mixture of tyres that are selected. So Sean and Black Mamba in the front row selected soft tyres. Mari Kekic has selected supers. Noek has selected the soft. Meloy has selected the supers. MLA, Jonas, Fletcher, Gaza and Matty Daddy have selected softs. Buxter's on super. James Slater and Ollie on softs. Kev is on supers. And Lukey, Cobblers, Z4, Erster and Maverick all on soft.
So, a right mixture there. If you see disqualified at the bottom, it only means from this formation lap. It doesn't mean from the session. So, Sean leads us away. And what do you think's changed? Do you think that Ferrari car just suits him better than the Mercedes did last year? Or do you think he's just doesn't want to play fiddle to MLA here in this championship in season 11?
I think it's quite a few factors. Firstly, I think maybe he does prefer the Ferrari. But secondly, I think he wants to... Last season he had a bit of a messy start to the season, got bought in 3 incidents. I think this season he wants to firmly put in himself as the #1 driver for Ferrari, and if he does more dominant performances like he does Austria, he'll be a real strong contender for the title.
Yeah, well, he started off on the right foot. You know, I think Beastas in the chat show afterwards, he even admitted that he didn't even think had he started up there higher in quality, he would have been able to challenge Sean on Friday. You know, his pace was just so consistent and so on it that he was a man that definitely deserved to be driver of the day, and that is why he was crowned driver of the day for the prestige tier. Bookster won driver of the day for the pinnacle, and Emphatix won driver of the day for the podium tier. Of course, Jamie, he took his first ever win at F1 TS Hub, and brilliantly done so, if I might add myself.
One time, yeah, it's really impressive. The thing about Sean is that, remember last season he's dominated at Austria as well, so maybe Austria is like his really strong track for him. So maybe he enjoys racing Austria.
Yeah, it's a track, you know, that from track to track, I think it definitely suits different drivers. It'll be interesting to see throughout the season, you know, how that affects the championship race. When, you know, there isn't all 20 tracks on this game, on this calendar, so it'll be interesting to see which tracks favour which driver. We're waiting for everyone to ready up, and here we go. Lights are about to go out. The 5 red lights for round 2, official practice session, and we're away. The Renault on the inside gets a decent start. Sean, that's twice now in a row he hasn't been able to get the start he'd like. They just give each other enough room. Sean goes wide, though, comes back onto track. Quite a field spread out. There's someone in the background in the wall. Sean is also off, dropping down the order. We can see James Slater in the Bookster had a nightmare start. So is Jonas. That's disappointing for him. Sean's climbing, cutting the corner now. Not sure what he's doing there. Red Bull and of course India get a little bit close together. Further on down the field, Maverick's up 8 positions into 11th, and Cobblers is up 8. Lukey's up 6. It's been a chaotic start here, and MLA leads this race.
Yeah, I've just caught the end of that. I don't know if that was like between Black Mamba and Sean, but that was a really strange collision. But as I said, people at the back like Maverick and Lukey, they took advantage, just kept the nose clean, and the game so many places at the start. people like Buxter and James Slater wing damage. Their races are sort of ruined already.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough fight back from here, but...
Kev's
someone's left the session, Cobblers. Kev spinned it.
Yep.
So it's not a good day for Red Bull, and he's got wing damage as well, so that's a painful trip back to the pit lane for himself. And this will just become a bit of a practice session for drivers who obviously inherit damage now. It's going to cost them a lot of time. Although this is a track that we did see a safety car, Jamie, last season.
Very rare things they are in this game. Yeah, I think for the people who got damaged, it may be good for them just to find out what sort of strategy you want for the race. I expect most people do one stop because of the pit lane around here, but it may be worth thinking, can they do super soft, or do you have to go super medium?
We're seeing a few positions changes. Matt, your daddy, goes past Cobblers, who's still trying to get back into his car after leaving and rejoining the session. So Maverick and Z4 in 11th and 12th at the moment. And Lukey from the podium tier up to 6th position. Of course, a champion from Season 9. The drivers, there's 5 drivers who have pitted. Ollie, Hurster, the Bookster, James Slater and Kev. They're all in for a fresh set of boots. Some going for the mediums, some going for the supers. And Kev going for the soft tyre. So Sean in 9th position as well.
Yeah. If I was Sean, I'd have pitted that lap, because he's just round here, just with the downforce level around here, he's going to lose so much time in this high-speed section we're approaching now. So
Malloy went wide at Cops, by the way, and Fletcher got past. He's up into a podium position. Malloy's hanging on to him. MLA's there as well. So does MLA have a good enough run? I don't know if he does. Looks to the inside, but thinks better of it. Lots of gaps throughout the field. Of course, DRS isn't open just yet.
Obviously, with the new, well, not new section anymore, but the first sector at Silverstone now, it sort of makes more overtaking opportunities possible. That DRS down Wellington Straight, so I think that'll be a pretty big overtaking spot in the race today.
Yeah, I definitely think we'll see lots of overtaking here. Not one for trying are these drivers, especially in the practice session where they don't have as much to lose. We're seeing a position change between Gaza and Noik. Gaza gets him back through the cutback. Noik's got the inside line though, and the better exit from the previous corner. Gaza gets DRS. Ollie gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I saw 2 or 3 of those pop up on the first lap when drivers came in, and looks like Ollie's gone and got himself on now as well.
It's a very difficult, on this game, it's a very difficult one to judge, because it's like a slower pit limit and the line comes really early. It's a lot earlier in real life, because I think on the game they want to make sure people don't get the last lap, because in real life it's quicker going down the pit lane to get to the line.
Yeah, if there's a way to take an advantage, I'm sure someone will find it.
Looks like MLA is all over Malloy here.
Yeah, and his teammate Sean is all over Gaza, so the Ferrari's looking to pounce. Here comes Sean. DRS is open. Is he going to go down the inside of Stowe? There's 2 cars battling in front of them as well. Sean gets the job done. Can he cope it on the inside?
Annoying. MLA collided. And that was a bit. I think that was maybe a bit optimistic for MLA to try and move there, but was worth trying figuring out where the right places are to overtake, and we've both lost a lot of positions due to
yes, struggling with his tyres still, MLA. He's down in 8th position, he's going to lose another one into turn 1, into 9th. Matty Daddy goes through, uses all of Abbey, exit and a little bit more. And Gaza up to 7th position now. Lukey from the podium tier up to 5th position.
Yeah, he got to keep his nose clean, he's doing a great job. As D Fletcher and Black Mamba are out the tangle.
So, Sauber versus Renault for this official practice session at F1 TS Hub. Make sure you head over to www.f1TS Hub. All the media day hype going on over there. We've got history and track guide, the pre-race stewards report. Jamie, guess the driver. Can you give us any hints?
If no one's got it by tonight, I'll give you a hint tomorrow morning.
Alright, sounds good, sounds good. I think maybe if no one's getting it, we might have to start giving the tier. And that will narrow it down, so we know kind of who to think about.
I have checked the answers yet, so I'll check them after this race, see if anyone's got it.
Alright, sounds good. MotoGP. Who supports MotoGP? Matt Your Daddy all under attack from MLA. Is MLA going to try something into turn 1? He's already been aggressive so far in this race. Thinks better of it. Stowe, what do you make of Stowe? It's a fantastic corner, one of my favourite corners on the calendar.
Yeah,
I've been side by side through MLA with it.
Yeah, I did a good move there last year. One, I think it's Spider coming out of that corner yet. It's quite difficult to get your line right there. Personally, I'd love it if there was a bit of gravel on the outside of that corner there. So if you make a mistake, you're punished for it. I don't like the run off there now, but it's a really challenging corner. One of the best corners on the calendar in my view. Yeah,
I have to agree with that. There's a few corners around this track which are definitely in the top few in the calendar. As we're still on board with MLA, we're seeing a position change between Maverick and Z4. We saw these guys race a little bit in the podium tier on Friday, and it looks like hopefully they're going to have a bit of a rivalry throughout the whole season in their podium tier.
Hopefully, yeah. Good to see. I think MLA's got a problem here because Matty Daddy he's got DRS on Gaza, and he's in a DRS train here. So ideally, he needs to try and just somehow find a way past Matty Daddy. I hope these two have a coming together. Might think going for a move into Baggett's Beckett, so that'd be a very brave one if I actually tempted that.
We've got D Fletcher versus Black Mamba. Black Mamba under attack. D Fletcher's trying everything to get past. Black Mamba goes wide. D Fletcher goes back down the inside. This move, if he pulls this off, this would be fantastic. Is he going to give him room? They both give each other room. D Fletcher goes a little bit wide. He's going to have to wait here to see whether he can get past at another opportunity. Perhaps at the end of the Wellington Straight going to be the best idea for him as they both go through turn 1. Just 0.2 of a second between them. Braking into turn 3 here, turn 2 here, and this is definitely going to be DRS. D Fletcher lining up his exit, gets on the power nice and early. Black Mamba does get a decent exit though.
Yeah, MLA got past Matty Daddy. Matty Daddy a bit of a moment coming out of Chapel, and MLA got him on the outside of it, so
we're seeing some interesting battles going on here. Sean tries to go down the inside of Lukey. Lukey says to him, Lukey says absolutely no way. Kind of forces the Ferrari off the track, and look again, brakes later than the Ferrari and is able to keep his position through taking the right line. Now Sean under threat from the Renault behind, which is Gaza, and then you've got Gaza under threat for the other Ferrari of MLA. What about D Fletcher? Has he managed to get past? No, he's following again through Maggots and Beckett's, and then you've got another train just behind the one we were speaking about. Lukey goes wide, so does Sean, so does MLA. What's going on here? Gaza goes through.
Yeah, in the past when I've raced Lukey, I found him a really, really difficult person to overtake. He's a really experienced racer, he knows what lines to take and defending, and I can sense Sean's getting a bit frustrated because he's 19 seconds behind Mally, which is half a pit stop around here already. And D Fletcher's past Black Mamba.
Yeah, she got past. I imagine that move was done, into the last couple of corners. I was running on board as MLA now got past Gaza. That was into Stowe, and look at this train of cars that Lukey's causing all the way up to the Haas in 10th position. So 5th to 10th all covered by about 2 seconds line astern as they start lap 7.
Yeah, and the two Ferraris. Oh, Lukey's gone off, and I think that's your position. Both Ferraris then. Oh, he spun it. Oh.
MLA spun it. So has Lukey. So it was all going so well.
Yeah, Lukey feels on the grass there. I don't think he had the full. I don't think he had the. When you brake on the grass, you don't get the full traction. I think he's just. Snap
of steer or something. Meanwhile, James Slater at the back has got past 2 drivers last few laps. Cobblers and Hursto. Kev has also made his way past. So Ollie at the back of the field with Hursto ahead of him. Z4 Maverick are still squabbling for position. I'm not sure if there was a mistake there, but Z4 goes ahead of his rival.
Yeah. And Cobblers, I still haven't got his car, so he's just a ghost driver. That's why everyone's overtaking him. But yeah, Z4 and Maverick, it seems like they're having fun today, and hopefully they can keep this going for the rest of the season. As Manny Beckett just a 7-second lead already, so that scrapping between D Fletcher and Black Mamba is giving him a huge buffer.
Just shows you, Manny finished in, I think, 8th position on Friday in the first round of season 11. And a driver like that, he led He led Brazil in season 10, the final race of the second final race of the season, and it just shows you he's got pace, and that whole that whole prestige tier is just insanely quick, and anyone can win a race, get a podium, get a top 5. It's just incredible.
Definitely, yeah. There's Matty Daddy's overtaken Gazza, and MLA's overtaken Milan down the pit straight.
Lots of battles going on here, Jamie. Only lap 8 out of 26.
Yeah, Z4's come in for a pit stop, so interested to see what tyres he goes on.
Gives himself a penalty as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's retired from the race.
He's called it a day. Our first retiree, and he's left the session, so... Look at this. Gazza under attack here. Gazza's going to be enjoying this, battling with these prestige tier drivers.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. I have to say his pace has improved rapidly in this game, and he's showing impressive. I think last season on Silverstone, or last year, he showed his first signs of pace, because I couldn't keep up with him last season. He was quicker than me around here. That's the first real race he was. He's kept that going back in last season into this season.
He's under attack now from Malloy, who again was, I think, the second quickest time in qualifying night. So he's got some pace as well. Does Malloy, of course, one of our race premium drivers. Black Mamba in the pits.
He started near the front last week, but I think he had a messy race. So.
Yes, he did indeed.
Mediums and usually for Black Mamba.
Okay, and interesting with Gazza, one thing I've always found about him when he drives is if he puts in practice prior to the race, he will have strong pace and strong result. When he doesn't put the practice in, he always seems to get caught up in trouble, and his race pace just isn't there. So Black Mamba, look at that, dropping him down the order from, I think, 3rd. He's going to come out in 11th place.
Mavericks down the pit straight, yeah. Yeah, I think Gazza's really motivated this season. I don't think he's expecting to be in the pinnacle tier, but I think he wants to prove to people that he can compete at that level, and with races, showings like this, he definitely can fight for points every race.
Matt Your Daddy under attack now from MLA, so Pinnacle versus Prestige, and Matt Your Daddy doing a solid job as he goes wide. Oh, commentators cursed him, didn't I?
Yeah, I think I did that last week as well. He had a good race last week, and he went off, so...
He gives Malloy... Oh, I was just going to say, he gives Malloy room. They collide. They both managed to keep it out the barrier, but that was... that's the problem when you try and overtake through Maggers and Beckett. You have to put so much trust into the other car you're racing, and just, you know, the slightest correction or something like that. And what's Malloy? Malloy's actually slowing down to let Matt Your Daddy back through.
Yeah, he's got wing damage as well, so I expect Malloy to put in this lap and sit the mediums onto the end.
Malloy showing what a good sport he is, if that's in case, in fact, what he was. Yeah, I think that's what he was doing. He was letting Matt Your Daddy through as he continues.
Sean's going for an undercut, I think, on his teammate.
Jonas back up to 6th position, Gazza up to 5th, Lukey back up to 8th with that. Kev all over the back of James Slater, by the way, only half a second between these guys. Of course, this is Prestige versus Pinnacle right here.
I think Kev was disappointed with his race last week, because obviously the two teammates collided, so hopefully they can avoid each other this week.
Yeah, definitely, and it wasn't even a full racing collision, was it? It was just miscommunication. So it's looking a little bit cloudy up there, I have to say, Jamie. I wonder if rain is going to come and visit us before the end of this race. Lukey all over the back of Matt Your Daddy, by the way.
Yeah, these are two former teammates last season. Obviously this year in different tiers, so it's an interesting point.
A lot of drivers choosing to go wide at Cops. Of course, something at F1 TS Hub that we do, which is quite unique. We change the corner counting setting depending on the track. The stewards decide before the start of the season what that's going to be. And for Silverstone, they want drivers to be aggressive with those Maggers and Beckett's. The curbs are there for a reason. The cars have the downforce. You want to see drivers pushing 100% through every lap of the race. You don't want to see them going conservative. And this is a track we believe. Because we're seeing a lot of drivers get stop and go penalties for the pit lane. So Good thing this is practice.
Yeah, it is a very hard. It's one of the hardest pit entry apart from maybe Monza because it comes at you really quickly and you approach it at full speed and you have to get down with 37 mile an hour, which is like crawling.
Yeah.
You're down that pit lane for it seems like an eternity. It's about 30 seconds you're down that pit lane.
Jamie, as a former steward, what did you make of Fletcher's result last week? Obviously, he DNF'd him and Temp. What did you? I don't know if you saw the footage or saw it live on stream. They basically just came too close for comfort and both ended up in the wall.
Yeah, I suppose I didn't really see that, but the stewards gave a qualifying ban, and I guess it was a pretty serious offence. I think didn't they tangle down the back straight?
The straight on the run down to turn 3 or 4 after the slow hairpin corner. It's the DRS, so they just got too close, and I think Fletcher just tried to squeeze him too much. Temp was already near the grass, you know, so he couldn't really do anything else.
Don't give room, then don't give room to the car. You'll take it, and then
Mally pits from the lead, so he was on. Yeah, he's going to try. He should do because he was able to do 11 laps on supers, so 14-15 on softs shouldn't be a problem. Another driver, Matty Daddy, get speeding in the pit lanes, and MLA up to 3rd, having yet stopped, and Black Mamba up to 7th. Where will he come out in regards to Mally? Mally's got the jump. Well, he already had a lead. That undercut hasn't worked too much for Black Mamba.
No, with D Fletcher 10th apart of the lead.
Of course, both drivers yet to stop.
I got some Beckett's. D Fletcher must have made a mistake somewhere. He missed that. Oh, a bit of light there.
I love it. We're watching the top guys. Oh, who's that on the grass? Is that Nowick on the grass?
Well, yeah, surely D Fletcher will get the momentum now.
Didn't seem to lose Nowick too much speed, did it there?
No. I thought he'd lose. He went over, unless that was lag, because he went over the grass and he'd lose seconds by doing that, surely.
Yeah, his tyres don't look dirty. Gazza's retired. What's happened to Gazza? He's retired in the pit lane, so obviously. And he had that penalty 5-second stop go for speeding. It's a bit of a shame because he was having a good race.
Yeah.
Ollie's left the session now as well.
Like if you had an extra pit stop down there, you're praying for a safety car, which just doesn't happen in this game.
So we've only got a couple of drivers within DRS range now. Field spread out a bit. Jonas still going in 5th. Jamie, do you just want to run us through who has and hasn't pitted?
Yeah. So Nowick, D Fletcher and MLA are yet to pit. Jonas is yet to pit and Lukey is yet to pit, but he's coming now, and Maverick is yet to pit. Everyone else has done 1 stop, apart from Ollie, who's done 3, and Hurster, who's done 2. It's Kev DNX. And he's gone off his Austin again, so he's having another messy race.
It's not the start to the season that he would have wanted, that's for sure. Hoping for a lot in that Red Bull, I know him and Boogster.
Yeah. Back in last season, Kev was showing a bit more consistency, so hopefully he finds it tomorrow for his sake.
Yeah, definitely. This is a track, as you mentioned, you don't want to get damaged, or it really is going to ruin your race. But no, anything can happen with a lot of drivers on the grid. You know, the chances of safety car are obviously higher than if the grid didn't have as many.
Yeah, it seems pretty spread out the field now, so people waiting for the last few guys to make their stops. I'm guessing the people staying out now will switch on to supers till the end.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking is going to be the quickest strategy for them, is to switch on and give it a push to the end. Mally sets the fastest lap. He's currently in 4th. He was leading, so when the guys in front pit, he will inherit the lead again. Look at Jonas. He's only 10 seconds off. Mally, who was leading, of course, he hasn't pitted, but still a solid job being caught by Black Mamba, and we'll keep an eye on this one. It looks like we might have some action here.
Yeah, Black Mamba's catching a lot. Every corner is visual. The gaps decreasing. I don't think it'll be near enough coming down this first DRS zone, but coming out the hanging straight, that's probably where the move will happen. Having a look, but it's just too far back at the moment. It's Bugster pits.
Bugster coming in now for the sole remaining Red Bull. Black Mamba getting very close. Matt Your Daddy gets past Maverick.
I'm just going to attempt to move into Cops. He looks like he is going for the inside line.
Risky business.
He gets the move done as Jonas runs wide. I think Jonas, he wasn't really fighting that too hard, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely. So, Jamie, just to let you know, the guesses we've had on Guess the Driver, you having a giggle, Samster, Matt Your Daddy, the other Matt, MLA, Emphatix, and you're having a giggle. So, there's just a few guesses.
Deflection, no exit pit at the same time. Yeah, well, I can tell you one. Someone's got the correct answer there, and I'll reveal after the race.
Oh really? Wow. All right. So no one got it last week, did they? So.
Well, Matt sort of got it, but he didn't actually say, sort of give it away, which is a bit of a shame.
So we're seeing Malloy come after Lukey now. This is Prestige versus Podium. Lukey, a former champion. Malloy hoping to put up a championship challenge. That Force India getting in the way slightly there. I believe that's a lapped car.
It's Maverick.
Maverick, so no. So he's coming into the pits and gets himself a penalty. So drivers have obviously, I think some of them will be happy they've seen that or done that today. So it makes them extra careful for tomorrow's race. We've got this battle going on heading into turn 1. Then we've got Fletcher and Black Mamba, who both pitted and both want to continue. No, sorry, Black Mamba came in earlier, so he's been split, D Fletcher and Noik, by Black Mamba. And MLA leads this race having yet to stop, so he'll be coming in for those supers, that's for sure.
Definitely, I'm surprised comes in this lap, and indeed he is. So I expect to come out in 7th place behind Sean.
Let's see whether you're right, Jamie. We've got 16 drivers to complete their pre-race interviews now, as Fletcher looks down the inside. Thinks better of it. MLA, where will he come out? He'll be flying in the remaining laps.
Yeah.
Malloy and Lukey going side by side through Maggots and Beckett's. Malloy gets the jobs done, carries momentum, and kind of scared Lukey out of the position there. Into the top 10 goes the Prestige driver and the race premium driver of Malloy. Shaw moves up to 6th position. He's had a quiet one since he started on pole, and he is now up to 5th position as MLA rejoins behind, just behind his teammate. Matt Your Daddy's retired. What's happened to him? In the pit lane. So Jonas comes in again. Sorry, not again. This is first stop, isn't it? So look at Jonas coming out in 8th position, and you have to say the 3-4 cars ahead of him are all on 2 compounds softer. So MLA, for some reason, on my screen, he's on the softs, but he's showing that he shows the... Why would he have chosen the medium tyre for the remaining...
It says medium in race director. No, I thought it was super, surely.
For the last 10 laps. Obviously he didn't feel comfortable to take those to the end.
Yeah. I'd like to point out Lukey's got a really good choice of helmet. He's picked my helmet I raced last season he's driving as. It's sort of noticed that.
Wants to be like you, Jamie.
Yeah, I'm baffled by MLA's tyre selection there. It seems maybe select the wrong tyre, but that just seems baffling to me.
Yeah, perhaps just trying something, It is a practice session. Drivers perhaps trying something with the strategy to rule out that they're going to do in tomorrow's race, as Jonas gets ahead of James Slater. So you've just seen a Podium versus Prestige driver. Of course, they are on different compounds, and James Slater has been on those medium tyres, I believe, since his early pit stop.
If Jonas keeps this up, though, he could be a real contender for the win tomorrow. Obviously, I think last week he had the pace advantage, but he got involved in instance. But I think Jonas is showing really good pace tonight.
Yeah, Joe made some. He just got unlucky with his strategy where he came out was just was really unlucky.
I think
So do you
I
know
sort
what
of clocked it later.
I'm just do you know what I've just realised after 17 laps? Where's Odems? I thought he was in this session.
Oh, I noticed. Yeah, I know. I've noticed he left the session on the formation lap, so whether he disconnected between qualifying and the race, I
It's
don't
very
know.
strange that someone else has obviously taken his place somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. Because he was in qualifying, so.
Well, we'll have to wait and see exactly what happened. But this is F1 TS Hub. This is an official practice session every Thursday at 8 PM. We'll be practicing ahead of the races on Fridays. All three of our tiers, Podium at 7 PM, Pinnacle at 8 PM, and Prestige at 9 PM. That's their times on the Fridays of their actual races. They're all invited to this practice session, all 60 drivers. The rules are set pretty much the same, minus the safety car and a couple of other things. But yeah, we are here ready to battle in this practice session. The two Ferraris line astern now through Sector 1. MLA, of course, on the fresher tyres than his teammate.
Yeah, but I've been watching his past couple of laps and he's been struggling. He's not really in a position to overtake yet. He needs to really stay close to him in his second sector. I think the Hanger Straight is probably the place where the move's going to happen.
Yeah, got to remember that MLA has switched from the pad to the wheel, and James Slater comes in for a late pit stop, so he will now switch onto those super softs. Bookster moves into top 10 after his early disappointing incident on the first lap.
Quiet race, Bookster. I thought he'd be doing better than this. He seems to be struggling a little bit, especially when he won here last season.
Yeah, he had an incident and came into the pits on the first lap, and as you mentioned, Jamie, it's difficult to recover from there.
As MLA's, he just isn't close enough to have this move happen yet. So, of course, he's on much fresher tyres than Sean. He pitted much later, so maybe towards the end of the race, that might come for him.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. That's what he'll be hoping for. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Two Ferraris, of course, leading the Constructors' Championship after round 1 last week.
Really good result, first and fourth in the way for the impressive race, his first race on the wheel. As he goes for a move, I think MLA had a really good race the first race. He showed decent pace and came through the field pretty well as somewhat disappointing qualifying.
Yeah, definitely, and I did criticise MLA sometimes last season for not being aggressive enough on the brakes, but his consistency showed where he was able to get to and take BSAS all the way to the penultimate race to make him really fight for that championship. And Jamie, this season's going to be no different in terms of BSAS really having to fight from it, but I predict there to be a few more drivers involved in that title fight.
Yeah, I was impressed by Skeven. I think he was on the wrong strategy last week, but I was impressed by Skeven and Julian, and I think there's more come from Mally and Malloy and Oldens and several more drivers.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, you've got the Season 10 champ from the Pinnacle tier, Kian, who's obviously moved up. The Podium tier, sorry, he was the champion of the Podium tier.
Him and Technophil are just sort of messy races, didn't they, last week?
Yeah, they both didn't have a good
place, weren't they?
Yeah, good debut. So
I think they both showed decent pace though. They got the pace to compete at that level, but just didn't have a cleaner race.
I think they just, it's the smallest mistake, as you saw in qualifying. One little lockup or you miss your apex and you can lose a few positions from it in qualifying. And suddenly it's a difference between starting 8th and maybe 13th. So
of course they're not used to racing at midfield. They're used to racing at the front. They're all very much a midfield driver. And starting in midfield, it's more about keeping your nose clean and gaining positions. It's great when you do gain positions, but I was more focused about keeping my wing intact than anything else.
And of course, getting into the pit lane unscathed.
Nice to see a few drivers since coming out the pit lane more in Austria. It's quite a difficult pit exit in Austria.
Yeah, it is a really tight one. Hello to everyone watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you don't already subscribe to us on YouTube. This is, of course, myself and Nick. I commentate on a vast majority of our races at F1 TS Hub, and Jamie, of course, is going to be doing some commentary for us in Season 11 alongside Jono.
Go to France, go wide into Cops. Seems a popular line tonight.
Yeah, wide into Stowe as well, so...
Stowe, yeah, sorry.
Stowe, yeah.
Can't be confused.
Lap 21 out of 26, Mally leads, Nowick is in second, Defletcher in third. Oh, it's just seemed to even out, 6 second gap. Black Mamba in fourth position, Sean in fifth, MLA in sixth. Is he going down the inside? He's going to touch his teammate. That was a move that was never on, and if that was the race tomorrow, I can assure you MLA would not have gone for that one. That was frustration.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be on headset at the moment, having a little giggle about that one.
Yeah, that's part the newer part of the track. Obviously, we've got the bridge corner. What's your thoughts? Do you miss the old bridge corner, or do you like the newer section?
I did miss bridge corner. One of my favourite corners that I remember was obviously the Abbey under the tunnel. You know, the fast left right hander. It was a fantastic corner. I actually walked on the track when I went a couple of years ago there, and yeah, just reminiscent of some of the earlier Formula 1 games. And yeah, it was fantastic. I remember the curbs were just different. I don't know if you remember, Jamie, they were just different to what you see the curbs are now anywhere. I don't know if that's something that just the curbs have developed over years, but I remember them just being kind of almost invisible, kind of greyish and creamish colour. And yeah, well, you really felt a rumble as you went over them.
Yeah, well, I'm going to Silverton this year, so maybe I'll walk up there and see. I haven't been up there since it got redeveloped, so maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll go up there and have a look and see.
Yeah, you can actually walk on it as part of like the walk pathway, behind. Yeah, pathway behind turn 1, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I went a couple of years ago, 2016. Seeing, by the way, Jonas overtake a Haas driver who is Herstow, so lapping his fellow podium driver. Riding on board with Jonas just because I think he's having a fantastic race in 7th position.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's actually ahead of all the Pinnacle drivers, I think. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's having a really good race, and again he had a good 2nd place last week.
Do you think he can put up a championship challenge in that podium tier this season?
Yeah, I think he can. Yeah, if he keeps up this pace and the result last week. And again, I think it's going to be that consistency rather than just getting wins. So if he's a regular podium finisher, then he can definitely be a contender. Yeah,
we've definitely got a real mixture of lineups here as Black Mamba slowly closing that gap to Defletcher, now 1.2 seconds. That's actually decreased quite a bit this lap, so will he be able to get in DRS range? I tell you why, Maverick was getting lapped there and perhaps that slowed him down. Is Maverick going to move out of the way into turn 1? He does move out of the way for Black Mamba, but that's really cost Defletcher. MLA comes into the pits, gets a penalty.
Yeah, I think last season Maverick had a few issues with getting out of the lane back hard, but I think he could be a bit more sensible this season, I think.
I definitely think he's worked on his pace and he's enjoying the more competitiveness of the field. Last season he was almost just waiting to be lapped, where this season, yeah, MLA's called it a day in that Ferrari. Right on the back now is Black Mamba.
Will he try and move into Cops, I wonder?
It's going to be... Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one. Defletcher goes wide. Is he going to be able to get the job done? They touch. He squeezes him again. Now the other turn to squeeze. Defletcher cuts the corner. But
I think you should let that go before turning in. I mean, don't know what defending into only one target for now, really.
The Sauber did what he did to Temp. He just the Renault was on the outside. He just squeezed him right up into the edge of the track. And of course, you know, sometimes that only results in one thing. And then Black Mamba returned the favour through the first part of the Naggers and Beckers complex.
No point giving that.
Yeah, definitely. I got a feeling another day, another time, that could have ended in heartbreak.
Definitely.
James Slater inside the top 10.
There's no close gap to Mali. It's not going to be enough, but...
Mali's had a good job. Done a good job so far. Can't argue with his pace tonight.
And of course, Mali started on supers and then on softs, and Nowick the other way around.
Yeah, he's managed his tyres pretty well, has Mali. Only a few laps to go, including this one. Sean passes D. Fletcher, so D. Fletcher perhaps he's got wing damage, I think.
Yeah, he has, yeah. Front left end brakes, almost all gone. And on this game, a tiny bit of wing damage, usually a half second lap, so wing damage like that, it usually a lot on this sort of track.
Yeah, he's having a bit of a weave.
Maverick's sort of enforcing the grass there, so...
Oh, we got a battle. They were both previously in the podium tier. Lukey stayed there. Books has moved up to Pinnacle. Let's see what these guys are going to give us here tonight. Lots of lag there on my screen.
It's not ideal,
So I haven't seen actually any lag accidents in this race so far. I've seen lag, but I haven't actually seen any major collisions from it. Yeah, it definitely was. There's a car behind as well. Oh, Maverick spun it. And who's that with? Hurst? No? He spun it with someone.
It's just got past the entry to Maggots. And James Slater's all over Lukey now.
Yep, I think...
Out of shape.
Touches the grass.
James Slater on supers, Nika and mediums, so... But his supers will be starting to wear out by now, so... He might be getting the best of his tyres in it now. He's going to go for a dive down inside.
Oh, Lukey gives him just... Lukey cuts the corner. Gets... No, that's not his penalty, that's Maverick. And James Slater just goes right around the inside. Of course, James Slater did make that late stop for those supers. Yellow flags in Sector 1. What we got going on here? The gap's still 5 seconds at the front.
Oh no, it's Maverick's part of it.
So's D. Fletcher by the looks of it.
What's his name?
You know what that means? So Malloy looks like he's recovering from an incident. Jonas up to 5th position.
Fair play, you've got to say, he's kept his nose clean. He's going to get an impressive 5th place.
They're not sure what D. Fletcher's doing now. Should probably just retire from the session and call it a day. Maverick's done that already.
His last lap anyway.
Yep.
He's coaching.
Yes, indeed. If it was the old track, he'd be finished this lap by now. No exterior. No, he's binned it. Where is that, Jamie? Is that on exit of Cop? No, that looks like coming into the old pits.
The old pit entry, yeah.
The old pit entry. So that's going to move Black Mamba up second. That's going to move Sean up into podium, and that's going to move Jonas up into 5th position. 4th position. Yeah. So Nowick bins it.
Mali Epic approaches the final 2 corners.
By 20 seconds he leads this one. This is called domination.
Yeah.
So we'll ride on board as he crosses the line. One more corner to go, and Mali wins the British practice session. Black Mamba coming in second. Sean's closed the gap to him quite a bit as well, down to 3.6 seconds.
Sean's pace now, I think, yeah.
So we'll wait for Black Mamba to cross the line. He goes a little bit wide, comes across. Yeah, he is fine. Comes home in second place. Sean will take 3rd position. Jonas, he is from the podium tier. He was racing the Pinnacle and the Prestige tier drivers. He's shown exactly what a good strategy and a consistent performance can do here. On behalf of all the podium drivers, he is showing a very good team effort, has to be said.
Yeah. very impressive, and I think Tom Travers will be a bit worried watching this tomorrow.
Yeah, they'll be worried if any of them are watching this. Jonas is a man on a mission, 4th position. Malloy, top 5. As he crosses the line, Bookster recovered up to 6th position, so he was down in the last 5 after the first lap, and he's going to come home just ahead of James Slater, who was another driver involved in that. He comes home, and Lukey's next.
Showed decent pace at the start of the race, so Mercedes could be a contender in the Championship this season.
They definitely could, if they score points like they have done today. You have to say Jonas has definitely got a good shout for tomorrow's race.
That's the podium. We know the podium because there's Mali Kekik, who wins for the McLaren team with Black Mamba second for Renault and Sean third for Ferrari.
So all drivers from the Prestige tier will run through these results now. Mali takes the win from the Prestige tier. Black Mamba from the Prestige takes second. Sean from the Prestige takes third. Jonas from the Podium tier, 2 tiers down, takes 4th position. Malloy from the Prestige takes 5th. The Bookster from Pinnacle takes 6th position. James Slater from Prestige takes 7th. Lukey from the Podium tier takes 8th. 9th, I believe that was Hursto?
No, not Hursto. It was that guy who was second.
Not Black Mamba, Noack.
Noack, yeah.
So Noack crashed out. He still finishes 9th from the Prestige tier. Defletcher finished 10th from the Prestige tier. Hursto finished 11th, just outside the points from the Podium tier. And the rest are pretty much computers, except for MLA and Gaza.
Not like the way they show these AI drivers and people read. It's very confusing.
Yeah, it is very confusing to work out, especially when I'm doing the results. But Jamie, we're in for another cracker tomorrow night. Thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for joining us. This is F1 TS Hub. This is a Thursday night where every week at 8 PM we will have an official practice session where all of our drivers across our 3 tiers are invited to. This is a Thursday. It is Media Day at F1 TS Hub. Make sure you head over to the website www.f1tshub.com and you can check out all what's going on. Lots of gossip, lots of driver interaction, and messages from the stewards and the league alike. Make sure you check those out. Thank you, Jamie, for joining me. And tomorrow are the races live at 7, 8 and 9 PM, all 3 of our tiers with commentary. This is F1 TS Hub. Thanks for joining us.